Well, coming in late this afternoon, a federal court has ruled that House Bill 509, which would have made it virtually impossible for a transgender person to change the sex marker on their birth certificate to match their gender identity, well, they said that's unconstitutional. A federal judge found the birth certificate law goes against a 2018 court ruling, which already said Idaho's restrictions violated the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. But despite that injunction and a warning from legal officials, that bill was signed into law and took effect on July 1st. But today's ruling means Idaho's Department of Health and Welfare cannot block transgender people from obtaining a birth certificate to reflect their gender identity. At least 46 other states currently allow transgender people to change the gender marker on their birth certificates to match their gender identity. Now, we reached out to the governor's office to get his reaction to this ruling today. We've yet to hear back.